Hello race fans, after a little small hiatus over 2 weeks, the NASCAR SEGA Cup Series is back and we're live here at Las Vegas under the lights for the Kobalt Tools 400. Now after a real great Daytona 500 and a really bone-breaking battle at Phoenix, we're now traveling way past the desert. All these drivers getting ready to try to roll that dice and see if they can roll up 777s. On the pole tonight, we have Joshua Collar in the McDonald's number 43. And in second, we have Garett Snydor in the 16. Last week's winner, Dillon Young, he's going to start this race mid-pack in the 23rd position. And he's going to be running some new colors. He's going to be running the, the Reds Appaleo on his Dodge. Real nice scheme for the number 2. And a special paint scheme for Trent Dunham. There's going to be a silent lap on lap number 10 because it's been 1 year since Coffee the Cat was, well, we all know what happened. Anyway, Trent Dunham, he's going through a tough time. You see the Coffee nameplate and Coffee picture on the hood of his car. On lap 10, there's going to be a silent lap and dedicated to her memory. Well, as these drivers are about to get off onto the track, we're about to have those famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Keep an eye on your temps for this first segment. We shouldn't really be in danger of overheating, but it will, probably get up to about 220, so just keep an eye on that.
And as the cars are rolling out pit road, here is your starting lineup for the Kobalt Tools 400. Dillon Young is not the only driver sporting new colors. We have Joseph Lombard in the 18 running his CarQuest colors on his 18. And we have Shawn Henley running the GoDaddy colors. He's probably going to regret running this car because Dillon Poteet is going to run the same paint scheme on his number 10 once we head up to Watkins Glen. And Tim Fiegel, who's had 2 bad weeks in a row, he's running the Farmers Insurance on his number 9. But the pace car is making its way onto the track, and we're going to be racing for 27 laps. The green flag is out here at Las Vegas. And if you notice something, I went back to the original sound file I had. Apparently the new file wasn't really as good, so I went back to the old one. I think it sounds a lot better. Heading out of turn 2 and into the back straightaway into turn 3. Joshua Collar maintains the lead. Here comes Shawn Henley at Tweetings Racing being pushed by Cole Daly. And leading the first lap is going to be Shawn Henley. And oh man, I heard some screeching. I think the caution's already out. Yes, it is. Oh man, that did not take long. And I hear more crashing in the back. And oh boy, it appears to be Dakota Hughes, Jake Rogers, and oh no, Trent Dunham. Oh man, this cannot be happening to him. He already had a lot on his mind and he was already involved in a wreck. Dylan Thoreau's also involved. And oh man, James McLeod, he's up in smoke. And oh man, Cody Lamas, he's got some damage after he got a top 5 last week. Oh man, I don't see anyone else with damage, but the biggest impact of that was Trent Dunham. Even if Trent Dunham is not able to continue, we're still going to have a silent lap on lap number 10. But that's a real tough break for the one team. But anyway, But anyway, no one appears to be coming down pit road right now, as Shawn Henley is our race leader. Let's see what happened to bring out our first caution of the day. Well, here's having to bring out our first caution. Apparently, the two Sega Motorsports teammates try to make it 3 wide, but Trent Dunham, he comes up onto the left rear quarter panel of Dakota Hughes in the 12, and that just brings him down right onto Sean Galligan and his teammate James Qualls in the 42. Qualls spins out in front of the field. There's Dollerton on the inside going in the grass, but Trent Dunham drives up right in front of Jake Rogers. Jake Rogers had nowhere to go. And Derek Engel, he missed that accident barely. And there's McLeod. McLeod gets hit. He hits Galligan. Then Cody Lamas, he runs into the back of the 91. And Dylan Thorough, he got involved with the wall a little bit, and he slides, but he's able to keep going. But the biggest impacts were Sean Galligan, Trent Dunham, and Dakota Hughes. And Sean Galligan, he's up in smoke. I think he's going to be done for tonight. But oh man, real tough break for all these drivers. Here we are back at Las Vegas. We're going to restart on lap number 6 once we get back going. Only 3 cars retired out of the race, and it was Cody Lamas, James McLeod, and Sean Galligan. They retired out of the race. Now, no one came down pit road, so our leader is still Shawn Henley. Second is Joshua Collin. Third is Cole Daly. Fourth is Tim Fiegel. Fifth is Garett Snydor. Sixth is James Silverfox. Seventh is Joseph Lombard. 8th place is Joshua Mudd. 9th place is Seth Cole. And rounding out the top 10 is Skye Commons in another new paint scheme for his number 41. 11th now is Dillon Poteet. 12th is Kyle Matthews. 13th is William Duncan. 14th is Jessica Shelton, who's 4th in standings. And rounding out the top 15 is Levi McIntire. But we're about to get back underway. The pace car is going back to pit road, and Shawn Henley is going to have a big red Dodge right behind him. And we are back racing here at Vegas. But now what comes into question, what these guys are going to do for pit strategy. As Cole Daly makes his way around Sean Galligan for second, and here comes Silverfox on the inside, bringing his fellow Toyota Joseph Lombard along with him. And oh boy, they're making it 3 wide back here. Here comes Seth Cole now trying to get around Joshua Mudd. And these guys are almost rubbing doors. Joshua Collin, he just got forced on the high side, as well as Tim Fiegel now. Shawn Henley still hanging on to that lead. And here comes Danny Wells all the way back here in the number 19. He's right behind Jessica Shelton. And Danny Wells, he won this race last season when he drove the 29 car. Small 5-car breakaway, almost single file, and oh man, almost contact between Tim Fiegel and Cole Daly. That was close. It was about for second. And oh man, we got cars scraping the wall. Joshua Collin and Dillon Poteet hit the wall. As Tim Fiegel is still looking under Cole Daly for position. But the more these guys go side by side, the more that Shawn Henley is going to pull away. Trying to use some of that GoDaddy power. Now breaking away a little bit, trying to get behind James Silverfox in the 6th position is Seth Cole, running his Wheel of Fortune colors. And oh man, just look at all these guys just running here through the back straightaway. Here comes Michael Norman in the number 8, sponsoring Diet Mountain Dew, one of our 2 Mountain Dew cars, the other being Cole Daly. And oh man, Steven Gonzalez now, he almost hit the wall and got into Derek Engel. And Derek Engel, he's our points leader right now, but he's not really running too well. He crossed the line in the 20th position. Now he's getting behind Alex Ferranti. Headed back to the front. Looks like Cole Dowley's starting to lose some spots as well. And oh man, Tim Fiegel, he has caught the 25 car. And Joseph Lombard, he's cleared Cole Dowley and Seth Cole. Now he's going to try to use this chance to catch up to the 9 and the 25. And speaking of those two, they're trying to duke it out for the lead. Tim Fiegel going to the deep inside of Shawn Henley. But Shawn Henley, he's trying to use that outside line and try to fight him off any way he can. But here comes Joseph Lombard to spoil the party. Joseph Lombard went winless last season. I think he hasn't won a Second Cup Series race since season 1 at Atlanta. But Tim Fiegel, he's already trying to get past Shawn Henley. But now it looks like Lombard is trying to help him. And here comes Silverfox now. James Silverfox, he's trying to get into the top 5 in the Red Bull 82. And here comes Joshua Mudd in the 48. The 48 was one of the top contenders for this race last season, and I think the caution's back out. Oh no, it's not. The caution's not back out. And oh man, I just made a big epic fail. I didn't pay attention to the lap time. It's lap 13. I was supposed to have a silent lap on lap 10, but I guess I'll have it on lap 15. As Tim Fiegel now takes the lead, Shawn Henley drops back to 3rd now. Oh man, I feel like a big idiot. And oh man, it looks like Shawn Henley, he's about to try to bounce his way back around Joseph Lombard for position. But he can't quite get there. As Tim Fiegel, he continues to harp at the race lead. As we're now about to find Trent Dunham, he's indeed off the pace, but right now, as we're about to hit lap 15, we're about to have a silent lap and dedicated to Coffee the Cat. And the drivers have made it back around. That completes our silent lap and dedicated to Coffee the Cat in loving memory. As Tim Fiegel, he still continues to hang on to the lead. It's pretty much single file for a lot of cars back. But when these guys have to take pit stops, and oh man, they're catching up on the slow Dakota Hughes now. And oh man, Tim Fiegel, he has to go to the outside, but oh man, Joseph Lombard, he's going to the inside. I think he's going to try to force Dakota on the outside, and he does, and that's going to give him the lead. Joseph Lombard to the point, but right behind him is Seth Cole, and he just got around his teammate, Shawn Henley. Seth Cole hasn't won a Second Cup Series race since season 2 at Michigan, and Lombard is pitting. Joseph Lombard is now pitting on pit road. So green flag pit stops are happening right now as Twinix Racing is now 1 and 2. Wheel of Fortune and GoDaddy are on point. And oh man, the pack is greatly separated. It's a 4-car breakaway now. In 5th place we have William Duncan. 6th is now Michael Norman. 7th is Kyle Matthews. And 8th is Danny Wells. 9th is Alex Ferranti, and Tim Fiegel dropped all the way to 10th. And oh man, Seth. Oh man, Seth completely overshot the pit road, and oh man, that may be a penalty on Seth. I'm not sure. Oh man, that was really close there for the 52 team. But we have to see if anybody stayed out. Right now, he's still shown as the race leader, and I don't think anybody else stayed out. Seth Cole staying on pit road, and indeed, Seth Cole has been penalized for the way he's in the pit road, and that's going to make him lose a ton of spots. Oh man, that's a real tough break for Seth. He is still on pit road. He has to take a major time penalty, and that is not what he needed at all. He may have just ruined this race for himself. He should have stayed out an extra lap, and he's still on pit road. Will they just let him go? But oh man, real tough break for Seth. We're gonna have to see who cycles as the race leader. Now we see Joshua Collar back on track in the 43. Joshua Collar right now is racing with Shawn Henley. I believe Collar may be the new leader. The ticker just updated, and they say that Joseph Lombard is the leader. Where is he? There he is. There he is. Joseph Lombard, he just cycled as the race leader. And if that is indeed the case, this may be golden for Joseph Lombard. I'm waiting on the ticket to update once more. And yes, it is. Joseph Lombard has cycled as the race leader. He was the first car to come down pit road, and he has a full second lead over second place, which is well now it's Skye Commons. Skye Commons just got around James Silverfox for the second position as they're trying to get around the slow Dakota Hughes. Fourth is now Dillon Poteet, and fifth is fifth is now Joshua Love, and he's being held up by Dakota Hughes. Oh man, the 12 really needs to get out of the way. And here comes Michael Norman in the dyed Mountain Dew number 8, and here comes Levi McIntire on the outside. But he's going to get held up by his teammate. And here comes Charles Sandfer in the 07. We haven't really talked about him ever since the season started, but he's starting to get into the top 10. Heading back up to the front, it's still all about that 18 car, Joseph Lombard. By the time of last season, the 18 got in victory lane at Fontana, which is Lombard's home track. Well, last year it was Nathan Duenas behind the wheel. And oh man, Seth Cole, they're coming up on Seth Cole, who dropped all the way back in 33rd. And oh man, he had a potential chance to win this race, but ever since that pit penalty pretty much screwed him out of it. And Lombard is pretty much close to lapping him now, but he only has really 3.5 laps to go. And Skye Commons and James Silverfox, they're way too far away. I don't think there's anything that the 41 or the 82 can really do. Now unless something happens to the 18 car, but right now, Joseph Lombard, he's free and clear. We have 3 laps to go now. They need to slowly try to cut into his lead, but if a caution comes out, the race is over. And Seth Cole, he's up to speed, so he's really not going to be holding up the 18. And oh man, and oh boy, we had a wreck in front of the field. We had a wreck somewhere. We had a wreck on the front stretch, and the caution is out. And I think Seth Cole was in it. Oh no, he wasn't. But oh man, we had a caution. We had a wreck in the front straightaway, and that no doubt is probably gonna end this thing. Oh man, we had a wreck somewhere in the front straightaway. I'm trying to see who's involved. Rohit Vedarvu's on pit road. I don't know. It may have been a single car incident. I'm not sure. But Rohit Vedarvu, he sits on pit road as the pace car is about to come out of turn 4 now, about to take the white flag. We're going to see what happens here, and we're going to see if anything happens to Joseph Lombard to probably prevent him from winning this race. But stay tuned. Well, here's how I'm going to brought out our second caution. These guys were battling hard for the 22nd position, and it looks like Zach Hamlin forced Kyle Matthews to come up right onto Shawn Henley, and that sends both cars straight into the wall, and Kyle Matthews goes for a spin, and Shawn Henley, he goes straight into the wall, and he also gives Kyle Matthews another hit to spin him out. So that's what happened to the 31, but it doesn't end there. The 31 gets slammed by another car, which is going to come to view in a second. He gets slammed by Charles Jackson, then old man Rohit Vedarvu, he also gets another contact with it. Jake Rogers and Danny Wells managed to slip by. That's Tim Fiegel, my mistake. But Rohit Vedarvu, he spins on the front straightaway while Kyle Matthews and Charles Jackson just sit on the apron. I believe this is the second week in a row that Charles Jackson has been involved in wrecks. Oh man, real tough break for the 11 car. I mean, he's 34th in standings, and you really don't want to be that deep in the points starting out this season. Well, here we are back live as they're coming out of turn number 4. Charles Jackson has indeed dropped out, and no doubt that we're not going to get back racing. But now heading into the travel to take the yellow flag and the checker flag, Joseph Lombard. He will win the Kobalt Tools 400 and capture his second ever Second Cup Series victory of his career. Joe Gibbs rolls up the 777s tonight, and they win at the roulettes. Joseph Lombard in the CarQuest 18 takes Las Vegas. Second is Skye Commons. Good pit strategy for the 41 team. Third is James Silverfox. Fourth is Dillon Poteet. Fifth is Joshua Mudd. Sixth is Michael Norman. Seventh was William Duncan. Eighth was Charles Sandfer, rather. Ninth was James Shelley. Levi McIntire was a lap down. And rounding out the top 10 was Jackie Tang. And Jackie Tang started this race in the 40th position. So he gained up 30 spots to get a top 10. Kobalt Tools 400, and that race is in the record books. Here's the man of the hour right now, Joseph Lombard in the 18. He's gonna go for victory lane for Joe Gibbs Racing. Okay. Yes, everyone. Sorry if my commentary is a little bit stale. It's just been a tough week for me. Danny Willis tried to go for the twofer. He barely misses out getting in the top 10 in 11th position. Chris Dollerton ends up 12th. Alex Ferranti, who was second in points, he ends up in 13th. Pichu London, who was right behind him, third in points, ends up 14th. And the other Joe Gibbs driver, Kris Wascher, he ends up with a top 15. Brian James, Matt Korklan, Dougie Shears, who started this race dead last, he gets a nice top 20. Cole Daly and Steven Gonzalez, he ends up 20th. Then it's Ian Dutta, Zach Hamlin, Joshua Collett, the pole sitter, Shawn Henley, and Tim Fiegel. They got a top 25. Then it's Garett Snydor, Dillon Young, Jessica Shelton, James Qualls, and Seth Cole. Seth Cole had a big chance to win this race, but that huge pit penalty just took it all away. So he's going to end up finishing 30th, and that's a real heartbreaker for the 52 team. Levi McIntire and Dylan Thoreau were a lap down. Kyle Matthews, he was involved in that accident. Trent Dunham and Jake Rogers were 2 laps down. Charles Jackson, he's the one that slammed into the back of the 31. Rohit Vedarvu was 4 laps down. Dakota Hughes was 4 laps down. And Derek Engel, the points leader, he dropped out of the race with a tire. Oh man, I didn't see that. It must have happened during green flag pit stops because I have no idea what happened to the 5, but that's really gonna hurt him now because he had a 7-point lead over Alex Ferranti in the points. But that's really going to drop him now. But the season is still young. Well, we're pretty much done here for Las Vegas. And I've also been debating about having the pit stops on ×3. If I have the pit stops on ×3, I'm thinking about changing the race to 15% rather than 10% to make them just a little bit longer. But I bet the driver of that number 18 is not complaining tonight as Joseph Lombard captures his second ever Second Cup Series victory. Well, we're done here at Las Vegas, and we're gonna go head out even more all the way to the West Coast. We're gonna go to Auto Club Speedway, aka Fontana, which is actually the home track of Joseph Lombard, Joshua Mudd, and Steven Gonzalez. So we're going to have 3 hometown boys trying to represent for Fontana. Is there any way Joseph Lombard can make it 2 in a row? We all know the history of the 18 in Fontana. Who's to say? But we'll find out once we get there. Congratulations one last time to Joseph Lombard for winning the Kobalt Tools 400. And we'll see you next time.